Hello, good day everyone, and welcome back to the channel Master Mariner Amit Sangwan. In this video, we are basically going to talk about the permit to work system. So first we have to understand what is the purpose of having this permit to work system or the permit to work. The permit to work is a document which sets out the work to be done and the precautions to be taken in doing it. It consists basically of an organized and predefined safety procedure. It forms a clear record of all foreseeable hazards which have been considered in advance, the appropriate precautions which have been determined, and shows the correct sequence of operations and precautions. Now, a permit to work will only make the job safe if it is thought out carefully and the set procedures strictly complied with. Okay, so basically, whenever we are doing any hazardous work on board a ship, we need to have a permit to work. Hazardous work such as working at a height, or working over sites, or working in the enclosed spaces, or a hot work, or cold work, or having diving operations, or any other work where a person or a crew member can get injured while doing that work. So who issues this permit to work? A permit to work is basically issued by a responsible officer. He can be the head of department, for example, the chief officer on deck or a second engineer in the engine room. So he has to issue a permit to work before the work starts, right? So how does he issue it? First, the step-by-step procedure is we have to identify what work we are going to do. And when we identify the work, we have to identify what permit we are going to fill. For example, in this first permit we are going to take is the working aloft permit. That is, you are working at a height. So normally if you're working at a height of 2 meters above the deck level, then you are supposed to get this permit before doing that work. Before issuing the permit, the responsible officer is going to follow the lockout or tag out procedure. The locking out or tagging out procedure means there are certain machinery, certain equipments which have to be locked out, and a tag has to be put into it. So if you're working, we have taken the example of working aloft. For example, you're working on the mast or the forward mast of the ship. We will take the example of working on the forward mast of the ship. So the equipment which is going to be locked out or tag out is basically the ship's whistle, which is on the forward mast, which has to be locked out. So a tag will be put on the whistle by the officer of watch that this machine or this equipment or this whistle or horn shall not be used because there is persons are working there. If there is any other machinery there, for example, if you're working in the ballast tank, then the lockout or tag will be put on the valve of that particular ballast tank so that nobody accidentally opens the valve to that particular tank, or any other machinery or any other equipment which if operated then can cause some kind of a harm to the persons working inside, that has to be tagged out. So that is a lockout and tag out which has to be carried out before filling up this permit. The next is we have taken the example of working at a height. So the term working at a height not only covers working aloft, such as on the mainmast, but also it includes working alongside an open hatch or other opening in a ship's structure, working in the close proximity to or supported from a ship's side, working at a height in enclosed space such as cargo or ballast tank, or working on or from a permanent stairway, gangway, accommodation ladder, or companionway, except where these are used only for access, egress from the intended work location on board. Suppose if somebody is using the gangway to come on board the ship or to go out of the ship, then you don't require to fill up a work at a height or a working aloft permit. But if somebody is carrying out some kind of a work, for example, if you're rigging a combination ladder or if you're rigging an accommodation ladder, then you're supposed to fill up this permit. Okay, let's take the example of this working aloft permit. So this is how this permit looks like working at a height permit. So basically this is a generic permit. Your company may have some specific form. You have to fill up the company specific form. So you can write the name of the ship here. It can be anything, whatever name is MT or MV, ABC, whatever is the name of the ship. Then the position, whether the ship is at anchor or whatever wherever it is. Normally the working at a height shall be carried out when the ship is stationary, but if it cannot be avoided, then it may be carried out when the ship is making way or underway. Then you have to write here position, latitude, longitude, or if it is at anchor, you write anchor or whatever is the GPS position, then date, whatever is the date. For example, let's say we can take it 01/01/2021 or whatever is the date. And then the sequence of this permit. This is the permits start with the 1st of January, and then you follow the permit. Let's say this is permit number 01 of 2021. So you write that here. Job location, or wherever you're carrying out this work. For example, if you're carrying out this on the forward mast, so you write here forward mast. Then nature of the job, it can be anything. You can be greasing the wire stays, or you can be carrying out some work with the electrical officer. For example, changing of navigation lights. So you can change here, change of navigational light, or whatever is the work you are carrying out, you have to put that here. The permit validity is normally 12 hours. So you write here the date and time when you're starting. For example, if the permit starts at 0800, you write here 0800, and the maximum hours is 12 hours. So you can take it up till 2100, but depending upon the work, you can put some other time also, but not to be exceeding than 12 hours. For example, this particular work can be carried out within 1 or 2 hours. So you can issue the permit for 2 hours or 4 hours as required. Now, if the work is not completed within this period of time, then you have to reissue the permit or you have to extend the permit. Okay. The next is if any other kind of a permit is required. Suppose if you're working in the enclosed space, then you have to fill that permit. So in this particular case, we are not working in the enclosed space, so no permit for enclosed space. So no permit for hot work also, because we are not carrying out any hot work. So you write here no permit for hot work also, and no energy isolation. So you cancel this. If you are doing any work in enclosed space, you have to fill up the enclosed space permit also. The officer responsible for this particular work will be chief officer, because this work in dock is on deck. So he's the head of department for deck side. Team leader, it can be chief officer if he's there, or otherwise if the electrical officer is carrying out the work, you write the team leader as electrical officer. Persons doing the work, who will be doing the work, it can be electrical officer and or an OS or AB, whoever it is. For example, an OS also, OS ABC is there. And if any other person is there, let's say AB also is there, XYZ or whatever, we can take it XZ, whatever is the name of the AB. Then you have to fill the risk assessment, whatever you have carried out. Gentlemen, any work which is hazardous on board the ship needs to be done only after carrying out a risk assessment. So you have to fill up whether you have to carry out a risk assessment. There can be a risk assessment number, which you have to write it here. So it can be risk assessment number 1 or whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever is the number. And then risk assessment reviewed satisfactory and all set identify controls in place. So you say, yes, it has been done. Then you have to confirm, you have to put initials. In this case, this is basically a checklist, which is there along with the permit. So let's say all persons involved are competent for the work. So only trained persons has to carry out this way. Under trainees shall not be designated to carry out this work. So you say yes. Weather conditions, okay, forecast check. So you have to check the present weather conditions and the forecast that the weather is not going to be bad when this work is carried out. Otherwise, people might get injured. When you're working at a height, you need a safety harness. So you have to check the safety harness condition, and you have to see that it is satisfactory. So you have to say yes. If any of these columns is no, you cannot carry out the work. Equipment in the vicinity locked out, tagged out. That is, in this case, it is the vessel which is going to be locked out and tagged out. So you say yes after tagging it out, locking it out. Adequate securing points available and which are in good condition, sound. That means you say yes, because you should be able to make fast this safety harness, what you're wearing. Communication method agreed by all parties. Yes, it can be a walkie-talkie, it can be verbal if you can see each other. And officer on the watch or duty engineer advise. In this case, it is the officer of watch which has to be advised. If the work is to be carried out in the engine room, then the duty engineer has to be advised, because he's the person who is in charge for that watch, and he should be knowing what work is going on the ship and on the deck. In that case, in this case particularly, now because It may be possible that he may have to alter the course all of a sudden, or if he sees rain or something, then he can take actions accordingly. Otherwise, the people doing the work will be disturbed and they might also get injured. So he has to be aware of the work which is being carried out. Now, if the work says, if the next point is if working oversight. So if you're working oversight, then these following points have to also be covered for, but in this case, we're not working oversight. So you can just put here not applicable. But let's say, imagine if the work was also oversight, then you have to check that buoyancy age checked and is satisfactory. That's basically a live buoy with a line and a light which has to be kept there. Rescue boat has been swung out. This has to be in case if a person falls overboard, then you should be able to launch the life rescue boat at a very fast speed. So you have to keep it ready. So you say yes. Then working equipment example, stage, bosun chairs are in satisfactory condition. Whatever is the work or whatever is the equipment which is going to be used for carrying out this work, a physical inspection has to be carried out before using it. You have to see the condition and you have to say it is okay, it is in good condition. Anchors stowed and lashed if work is anywhere around the anchors. Overboard discharges shut where the work is being carried out, and safety net rigged if possible. So if it is possible, you should also rig a safety net so that if a person falls down, he falls on the safety net. If the work is in the enclosed space, you have to fill the enclosed space permit also, and you have to enter the name of number of the permit here. So entry permit completed and safe for entry, that's a separate permit. You can watch a previous video which is already made on the enclosed space entry procedures. That procedure has to be followed here. Then the next is the permit signatures, that the officer responsible here is the chief officer, so he's going to sign here. The next is the team leader was electrical officer, so he's going to sign here. Then the person number one was an OS ABC, so he's going to sign here. The next was ABXZ, whatever is the name, he is going to sign here. Prior to starting, the team leader has to carry out a toolbox meeting. So where the team leader is going to explain how the work is going to be carried out, what all the precautions which are going to be taken. So the team leader has to sign once the toolbox meeting is carried out. He has to write the date and time here. And the next is once the work is completed, all the tools and everything is secured, the team leader is going to sign here and he's going to close the permit. So this is how basically you're going to fill up a work at a height permit. This is one permit. There are numerous other permits for various other works. For example, if you're carrying out a hot work, you're going to fill up a hot work permit, which looks somewhat like this. Again, we will see this. This is a very extensive topic of hot work, whether it is going to be a tanker ship or a normal ship. So we're going to discuss this in detail in another video. Otherwise, this video is going to be too long. So we're not going to discuss about this hot work, but there is a permit to be filled up of hot work. Or for example, if there's another work which may be energy isolation. So you have another permit for energy isolation. So this permit looks like this. Again, the initial entries have to be made here, the name of the ship, the position, date, permit number, location of the work, equipment to be isolated, and special conditions such as the weather condition or any other conditions. Then again, any other permit which is required, for example, working at a height or hot work or underwater, whatever is the work for energy isolation. And then you have to fill this permit accordingly, whether the energy source is electrical, hydraulic, heat or steam or pneumatic or cryogenic or any other. And if it is electrical, then the equipment which is to be isolated and logged out and tagged out. So basically, gentlemen, you have to follow this permit system so as to keep everything safe. These are some of the permits which I've showed you. There are other permits also for other works, what needs to be filled up before doing that work. Gentlemen, we have to understand one thing here is that whenever the work is carried out, before starting the work, we have to see that are we wearing the appropriate personal protective equipment which is required as per that work. On your ship, you definitely will be having a PPE matrix. Most of the companies in their safety management system, they have this. So you have to refer the PPE matrix, you have to see what work you are doing and whether you are wearing the appropriate PPE for that work or not. First is that. The second is you have to carry out a risk assessment. Risk assessment, it is not that the duty officer or the chief officer sitting inside the CCRE fills up the risk assessment form. No, actually the team which is carrying out the work, which has to sit with the team leader and with the officer responsible and have to discuss about all the risks which are involved into this work and whether these risks are at a acceptable level or not. Second is the risk assessment, and third is that you have to see that the permit has been filled up and you have to sign that permit before carrying out the work. It is your own safety. You have to understand that you have to sign the permit, understand the permit, see that the checklist along with the permit is filled up, and only after that you have to carry out the work, not before that. Because if you carry out the work and you say that, okay, I'll sign it after coming out of the space or after doing the work, then the whole purpose of this permit is failed, right? So this is about the permit system. Then this permit, a copy of this permit has to be posted in the vicinity of the working area where this work is going on. Once the work is completed, the permit is to be closed and it is put in the file for further inspections, audits, or anything else, right? Now you have to make sure that the equipment which is being used up, which is going to be used during the work, is properly inspected and it is in good order. There are various permits for such as work on electrical circuits, then work on pipelines and pressure vessels, hot work, and all this. Hot work we're going to discuss in detail in the next video, because this is a very extensive topic, cannot be covered in one video, otherwise the video is going to be too long. Because whether the hot work is going to be in the cargo spaces, in the cargo tanks, or with the bunker tanks, or in the enclosed spaces. All right, that's about hot work permit, and whether it is a tanker or not, or non-tanker. And then you fill up a permit for working with a small craft alongside. Also, you need a separate permit for that. Entry into enclosed spaces, that permit we have already discussed in the previous video, right? Then the responsibilities are clearly defined, that who is going to be the responsible officer. Some permits require the signature of the master also, approval of the master also, and some permits require permission to be taken from the company. So you have to make sure that the permission, such as the hot work, which when it is carried out outside the approved space, you need to have permission from the company, especially on tankers. Okay, these are some of the permits which we required to be filled up before carrying out the work. Gentlemen, in the next videos, we're going to see how to carry out the risk assessment and how to fill up the risk assessment form. I hope this video will be useful for you, and this will make you understand why the permit to work system is required. All right, gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. I hope it will be helpful to you. And if you find it useful, please share it with your friends. This will definitely help students who are preparing for the competency exams, or who will be going on the shift for the first time. In fact, for experienced people also. Please do share this video with your friends, and please subscribe this channel. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and thanks for subscribing.